all right. Good evening, everyone. Everyone out there in cyber world. Welcome to Financial Coach for You team training. I can't believe it's the middle of September, y'all. It's the middle of September. We're in the last quarter of 2015. Anything can happen now. We gotta go for the field goal. We gotta go for the gold. I am Financial Coach Ray, the founder, the CEO of Financial Coach for You. Thanks for taking time out to join us. I know it's football season and some of you are getting ready to watch the replays, but you are in for a treat tonight. As you can see, our team meeting is held every single week virtually via our smartphone, laptop, iPad, desktop, Google Hangout. I love ya because it's free. And if you guys know me, I love free. So getting all dressed up and driving to a meeting in a brick and mortar building, it's a thing of the past. We're into technology. You know, here you live in a world that's constantly changing around us. So you have to change to reach the masses and to stay ahead of the game. And so Financial Coach for You, we are virtual. 95% of our business is done virtually. And so if you are anywhere in the U.S. of A. listening to our recording right now, we can definitely reach out and touch you wherever you're at. We can help you. So feel free to use the chat feature to the right of my screen, which is your left, to communicate with us, the team, the panelists that you see below. We have a great lineup. And so at every single team meeting, my goal is to have you walk away with little nuggets that you can implement immediately or basically share it with your loved ones, your family members, anyone that you come in contact with. You can refer them to Financial Coach for You. We are a true one-stop shop. I mean, we're talking about from A to Z. We're able to help you. We even have an awesome resource coach on board. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce our panelists. And the first one, let's see, I'm going to pull up is Coach Latasha, brand spanking new. She is licensed. She is in the state of Arkansas. If you're out there, you can definitely reach out to her. And she's also virtual, so you can definitely meet her or reach out to her from any other states. And the second person I want to introduce is Michelle. Remember I talked about resource coach? That is our resource coach on the team, Coach Michelle. If you can wave your hand so everybody can see you. And Coach Michelle is here in San Diego. And then we have Coach Ted. Ted is our numbers cruncher. And Coach Ted is here in San Diego as well. Coach Ted, great to have you on board. And we have, last but not least, we have Coach Wakil. He is in Texas. He's representing Financial Coach for You in the good old state of Texas. And if you can unmute your mic, Coach Wakil, he's going to open us up in prayer, and he's also going to bring us our motivational second. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Coach Wakil.
All right, thanks, Coach Ray. If we can all bow our heads. Dear Father God, we come to you as humble as we know how. We thank you for another opportunity, a great night to come amongst friends and family and our wonderful financial coach team that we have here, dear Father God, to talk amongst each other and continue to spread knowledge and helpful tips and motivational ways that we give each other on a daily basis. I ask that you just open our minds and our hearts tonight as we intake another wonderful training and another wonderful opportunity just to continue to communicate and help this business grow there, Father God. I ask that you give those who are traveling tonight safe traveling mercies, and those who are having technical difficulties, may they be able to log on and really embrace this message that we ask you to help us deliver tonight, there, Father God. It's in your precious wonderful name we thank you and we love you. Amen.
Amen.
All right, for more motivational moments tonight, we're going to be focusing on foundation. And where did it go? Okay, so foundation. Where you start is where your story begins. How many chapters you give this story is up to you. When it comes to helping others with their finances, you have a role in writing a new chapter in their life. We have to be technicians of finance, where we can fix or curate with the right tools. When building a house, you need a strong foundation. First, Nothing can exist without a foundation. So always ask God to be your foundation. Be your foundation so that you know you will be secure with all your future builds. That's all from Motivational Moments. Turn it back over to you, Sister Ray.
And that's so awesome, because on this rock I will build my church, right? He didn't say on the sand. The Lord didn't say he's going to build his church on sand. So as we talk about our topic of discussion this evening, we're going to talk about how solid is your financial foundation. So thank you so much, Coach Wakil, for bringing the motivational seconds and also opening us up in prayer. I'm going to turn the platform over to our awesome resource coach, Michelle. She is awesome. She is fabulous. She is going to give us our team updates and let us know what's going on. Coach Michelle, I'm turning it over to you.
All right, Coach Ray, here we go. So we have our spiritual financial classes, again, starting up at New Seasons Church. Tomorrow's Monday. They're every Monday from 6 to 9 p.m. If you haven't already signed up for our class and you don't want to physically show up there and you actually don't have the time to drive out there and get there on time, we do have a virtual setting where you can still take those classes and still have that opportunity and graduate from the class. You know, you won't have to worry about being late because you'll have a whole week to finish your class. I'm actually one of those people that went through the virtual class, and I was excited every time I was able to log in. And just the fact that I didn't have to worry about what time I would be there. You know, it gave me a little bit of, you know, a little bit of, I didn't have to worry about whether or not I was going to make it there late, or, you know, I could always make sure that I got to the class and it was virtual and it was just right there in my house. So that was a plus for me, you know, especially those of us that have a lot of things to do and we don't have time sometimes to drive across town to get to that class, you know. But we do have time when we have our down moments to sit down in front of our computer and go through social media. So that being said, to benefit us more, we push the social media to the side and we actually benefit from learning things through our virtual class. So if you haven't signed up for our class yet and you are or are not part of the team, it doesn't matter. You don't have to go to New Seasons Church to be part of the class. So you can benefit from it, and it's free. You know what Coach Ray say about free? She said free, and free is free. So if you have any questions regarding that, please contact us. Also, another update we have is for our Coleman College booth. We're going to have a Coleman College event here on Tuesday, and it looks like it's from 3:30 to 6:30. I just want to give a shout out to the coaches that did sign up and that are going to show up. I want you guys to remember that your surveys are your leads. So as many surveys as you get out there, those are your leads and those are your people. So I just encourage you to, once you're on fire, don't let that fire burn out. You know, there's always people that need help. There's always somebody that you can reach. And, you know, I don't want you to get tired of wanting to help people. So I encourage you to do as many surveys as you can. You know, everybody that walks by that you didn't get to do a survey, that's another person that you could have helped. You know, so I just want to encourage you to do that. Another thing that we have here going on is our Spring Valley Fiesta on Kempton. We don't have any coaches that have signed up for that. That's this Saturday, the 19th, from 1 to 4 p.m. in Spring Valley. So please come on out and show your support. You know, again, go ahead and give us a call. Contact me or Coach Ray on the Voxer and let us know that you will be there. And I just wanted to say a special thank you to all of our coaches that did show up, that were able-bodied to show up here in San Diego at our last event this Saturday. It was the Health and Wellness Fair in Lemon Grove. Just wanted to say thanks to Coach Ray, Coach Ted. We had a couple other coaches, Coach Natasha, Sarai, Coach Ellen, and our mini coaches. Thank you to all of our mini coaches. Those are our little children that were there that showed up. So they're such a blessing to have around. So I just wanted to put all that out there, and that's about it for our updates. Back to you, Coach Ray.
All right, thank you so much, Coach Michelle. And I know she is the one that introduced to us the Voxer app. And so I know this is our way of communicating with the teammates throughout the day. And every morning is either between Coach Wakil and Coach Natasha, Coach Rose, who's going to give us the theme for the day. And so thank you so much, Coach Michelle, for introducing us to the Voxer app. We look forward to hearing every single one of our teammates' voices.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot. Okay. And let's see here. I see Coach Neelam joined us. She's here. She's actually our intern, our college intern, working on her second master's. This is Coach Neelam, and she's joined us on the panel. How are you doing, Coach Neelam?
Hi, everyone. I'm fine. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. And you get to sit in and get in on the discussion. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. So we're going to continue on with our awesome topic of discussion tonight. I know that when Coach Wakil was giving us our motivational seconds, we talked about the foundation. You know, you want to be able to build on a solid foundation. When you look at buildings going up, the first place that they look at when they're starting to build or trying to put a house, they want to see how solid that foundation is. Right now in California, we have about 2 houses that's getting ready to tip over to go down the slopes. Because they, at that point when they built the houses, they had a nice view of the ocean. It was ocean view property. Now it's going to be ocean-owned property because it's just deteriorating. When you look at the foundation, that house was built on sand. I mean, what happens when the winds come and the rains come? What do you think is going to happen to that foundation? It's going to be wiped away. And so even with Scripture, you know, Jesus says, on this rock I will build my church. He didn't say on sand. So he wants to make sure that the church is built on a solid foundation. So my question to you is, how solid is your financial foundation? Yeah, we're talking about your financial foundation. If something happens to you, you know, let's say you lose your job, how long will your family be able to maintain your lifestyle? You have to make sure that you have enough money to live comfortably. So it's important to have a plan in place to protect your financial security. Whether you have a little bit of money coming in or a lot of money coming in, you got to make sure you put aside something. Now, we talk about investments. We want to invest. We want to make sure that we have enough money, knowing that we have enough money for the future, right? That's key in financial planning. But you want to start with a solid foundation by diversifying your portfolio. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. I know people that work at a job and they're like, you know what, I just save for my future right here in this basket. What happens when that basket falls? All your eggs are going to be broken. So you got to make sure you diversify your portfolio. Okay? Choose the right allocations. Look at your risk. How risky are you as an investor? Back in 2007, 2008, when the market went south, did your investments go south with the market? Some people are getting ready to retire back in 2007, 2008. They could not retire because of what? The market went down. So how risky of an investor are you? You got to know, how much can I put aside comfortably without busting my budget? How much money out of my income that I have coming in can I set aside for my future? Can I set aside for emergencies, right? You got to take steps to protect your assets, because trust and believe, the government is not going to be there for you. As long as I know everyone thinking, yes, Uncle Sam, that's my uncle. He sends me refunds at the end of the year. But let me tell you something. Do not put your faith in Uncle Sam, because you have to make sure that you are responsible for your future. So what do you think, Coach Natasha? I know we talked a lot about setting our foundation solid. What do you have to share about this topic? If you can unmute yourself, yeah.
I got you. Well, first of all, insurance, it protects our assets.
Sure.
Purchasing adequate insurance coverage reduces the risks for you and your family. You know, it prevents you from having to sell off your assets and meet expenses in the event of a death or disability. Life insurance also, it maintains a standard of living if you die. You know, from experience, I can say, you know, life insurance is very, very important. Um, of course, I'm a widow for 8 years now, and if I didn't have that, I mean, I don't know where I would be. You know, um, also with insurance, I mean, it's not just life insurance that you need. I mean, you need insurance for your home, like you was just saying about that home that was built on sand. You know, I hope they have some kind of homeowners insurance or some kind of rentals insurance or something. You know, that'll help your asset as well. Car insurance. Oh my God. You know, when you get, I've been there too. You know, you be in an accident, you just, man. I mean, you got to have an automobile. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
so that'll protect you from, you know, not walking from A to B, you know, or
And then
riding
again,
public transportation.
yeah, and then again, it's the law, right?
Yeah,
Because you can't
exactly.
drive without insurance. You can't drive without car insurance.
You can't even drive it off the lot without the insurance. So
Exactly.
yeah, you
So-
gotta have it. Yeah, and
Exactly.
you know, they got burial insurance, and you know, all. I mean, this is very important. You know, I'm gonna go as far as work compensation insurance. You know, if something happens to you on the job, and you slip and fall or something like that, you got to be protected. You know.
But then you know, I think also the companies try to protect their assets as well. That's why they
Very,
want
very
you to
true.
pay for the workman's comp. It comes out of your paycheck.
Exactly.
Interest, right?
Exactly. So I mean, it's important. You got to do it. You know, I was talking to my mom, you know, and she's like that she really never understood the importance of it, you know, until I got into this field, you know, and I'm
Right.
like, yeah, we got to have it. You know, you can't worry about what people think when you're getting $200, $300, $400,000 worth of insurance. You got to compensate, you know, because you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
You never know,
Right.
because
Right.
tomorrow's not promised to no one.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking about that, because as a matter of fact, life insurance, you know, is the foundation of any solid financial plan. So we have life insurance because if you're not able to provide that income that you are generating right now for your family will be devastated. Your lifestyle, the lifestyle that your family is used to, is going to be gone. And so that life insurance, you know, kicks in to take the place. You're not there physically, but you're still there financially providing for your family, just like you said with your husband. So that's awesome. So Coach Michelle, do you have anything to share on that topic that we talk about as far as building a solid foundation? And we could hardly see your face, Coach Michelle. Maybe you want to sit up a little bit. All I can see is your eyes.
Okay, can you see me?
Your camera maybe needs to be down a little bit, pointing down to you. Or there you go. Now I can see your beautiful face. Yeah,
Okay.
that's better. Much
So
better.
while she was talking, I was thinking maybe the emergency fund. I mean, has anybody thought of an emergency fund? And, you know, really you should have about 6 months set aside. You know, I know some people are like, well, I can't do, you know, right now I'm in the financial situation that I'm in, and I can't afford to put 6 months away. But, you know, if you just set a small goal for every paycheck, and you start off small and just be diligent in putting that small amount away,
Right.
you know, eventually you'll get to that huge goal, which is the 6 months worth of paychecks. You'll get there. You know, you just don't give up, and then before you know it, you'll have your emergency fund set up.
Absolutely.
And so another thing that I was thinking was, I think that you should actually keep a goal in mind. You know, there comes those moments where sometimes, you know, we end up having to switch jobs, and so the income is not the same. But
Right.
if you still keep that like a contract with yourself, I guess you would say, okay, I've made up my mind to put $40 every 2 weeks to the side, or 240, whatever your goal is, no matter what happens, no matter what job change you have, as long as you stay diligent with that, you're going to reach your huge goal of that 6-month emergency fund. And an emergency fund is exactly that, for emergencies only.
And
you
it
know,
also, it's a peace of mind too. It's a peace of mind. You know, how many times, you know, you drive and mind your own business, you got a flat tire. You
right,
know,
you also have to make.
Uh-oh, you got stuck.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Uh-huh.
Okay. So you should keep in mind that, you know, an emergency fund is just that. So you should have your priorities set as far as what is really an emergency. I mean, I know I need to get new tires, but I should have thought about that. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
an emergency, but it's not really an emergency. What
Well,
happened?
a flat tire is now.
Well, I mean, you have a backup though. You know, you have a backup. Yeah, you should have a backup there. But, you know, an emergency is something like, what happens if there's a flood in your house and you got to
Right.
stay somewhere? You have nowhere else to go, and you got to be put up in a hotel for a little bit. Now, if you don't have renter's insurance, then that you have to use that emergency fund. That is an emergency. If something happens
Right.
and you can get on the plane right away to go to a family member that's way across the United States, that's an emergency. You know, those are emergencies, and it's always good to
Right.
have that emergency fund. So, yeah, those are the main things that I was thinking up, and so the main thing is just to be disciplined at what amount you set aside so that you can reach that 6-month goal.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing that. And also, wanting to make sure that your emergency fund is liquid. It's somewhere that you can get access to it right away. It's nothing that you have to wait, you know, to get that fund. You want to make sure that you have access to it right away. Anyone else on the panelists have anything to chime in on building that solid foundation, financial foundation? Okay. We have Coach Wakil. Do you have anything to chime in? Okay. All right. Yes. Do you have anything to share on that topic?
As far as building a solid foundation, it's more like, you know, what I said earlier. You know, you keep God first in a lot of things that we do. You know, you keeping him first and foremost, you know, especially with him knowing your future and what's going to happen next. You know, it really brings a different security about when you know you're entrusting everything you're building your life on. I mean, we're talking about your future, and for those who have kids, you're talking about their future too. So as Sister Latasha stated earlier, you know, this is a serious situation that you always need to think about when it comes to building a foundation. You don't want to build anything on sand that just because it has a beautiful view, you know, oceanside view, doesn't mean that it's going to last forever. You know,
Right.
You're talking foundation, something that you want to remain standing in your absence. So you always got to remember that. You know, if you're talking about something that remains standing in your absence, insurance is the best way to go. You need to ensure that something will continue on if you're no longer here.
Right. Right. That's true. What about the investment side? What do you have anything to add to about the investments?
Yeah, I think I could bring something forward. I think I want to talk more about tax-free investments. I mean,
Okay.
would you rather pay taxes on the seed of a harvest, or do you think
Huh.
that
That's a good question. The seed of the harvest. What do you think? I mean, most people they really don't understand that analogy of
okay?
paying, on the seed or on the harvest.
Well, the thing about the seed though is you don't know how much it's going to grow. You know, when you plant a seed, and if you invest on something that can potentially grow millions, then why not? Because your harvest is going to basically be your outcome. You're like, all right, I'm gonna get, I don't know, 50 stocks this year. Okay, let me invest on that. When you plant a seed, you may get a whole lot more than that. So it's more what should I say, practical
Uh
to
huh.
to to invest on something that you know is going to continue on no matter what. A harvest is kind of a limit. You're setting yourself a limit with a harvest. Your seed is limitless.
Right. And I always like to talk about, when you cut open an apple, you can
Mm,
actually count the amount of seeds that you have in that apple. But when you
sure.
take that one seed and you plant it, you have no idea how many apples are going to grow from that one seed. So,
Exactly.
so paying taxes on the seed is what you can count right now, rather than waiting for your investment to grow 10,
Hmm.
20 years from now, and then you got to pay taxes on that. And that
So
brings to mind typical 401ks. That's how it operates.
yeah, yeah,
Defer. We're going to defer our taxes. We're not going to pay anything right now. We'll give you the benefit of it. But then when you get ready to pull it out, we
uh,
want our portion. And of course, you're going to get more of that.
it's funny that you mentioned that though, because then you got to look into like the future part. Do you think that taxes are going to be higher or lower in the future?
Huh.
When you start
I
putting
don't
money
think
in.
I don't think I've ever seen taxes go down.
No, I don't think that's ever possible.
You know, it went
Mm.
down. I think after the the era. The anyway. That's true.
Yeah.
I'm seeing taxes steadily increasing.
Well, I mean, you got to also look at that too. When you're making a plan today, you can't tell whether or not they're going to go up or down. So, do you wait on that harvest, and possibly get hit with a big tax bracket, or do you just continue to invest in that seed and worry about the tax bracket when it comes? Because you focus more on the seed and not the harvest.
Right, right.
Well,
I know.
as far as taxes, we're actually this decade right now. It's one of the lowest tax brackets we've ever been in as far as in our history. So, if you think our tax bracket is high as of this point, it's actually low if you compare it to the others in the past.
Right. So, but it's not going down any lower. It is steadily rising.
Well, it's definitely going to rise, no doubts about that, especially because of the amount of debts that we have in place. So there's
Hmm.
no other way for we to pay off that. The only other way is the taxes.
Does any one of you on the panel know how much debt America is in right now? How many
Like,
trillions of thousands of trillions of dollars?
I think it's 17 or 18 trillion.
Yeah, that's huge. That is huge.
Mm.
So I don't think we'll ever pay that off in our lifetimes. That's probably for our children and our children's children and our children's children's children. My goodness. This is
And
crazy.
then, speaking of that, you got to also think. I mean, do you have guarantees with your current investment program at your job? Most jobs continue to offer 401ks, but is that a current? I mean, it's a current investment program, but do you think it's really going to work? Are you going to get what your money's worth after all the years that you've invested into that?
Wow, that's a good question, Wakil. Because, most people, that's all they know. They know
Hmm.
what their job gives them as benefits. And they really don't know about it. They haven't researched it. They just know this is a package that I got, and I have till the end of the week to choose what to do with my money, right? But I know Coach Ted. When we sit down and we do a lot of number crunching, and we compare what people have. I know we sit back and we talk about just where the future lies for that individual. Do you have anything to chime as far as the past performance and just where what the professionals are saying out there about these types of investments? You know.
Well, as far as for me, like my focus as of this point, because I mean I was been in the when I was working for quite some time. The only thing that I knew about investment as far as retirement plan was really my 401k. Luckily, my first company that I worked for, they did have a pension plan, but after the pension plan, they converted to a 401 because it's a lot cheaper. So right now, as far as pensions out there, there's no pensions out there. There's only a very, 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 very few companies that offers that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as far as my 401 myself, I did lose quite a bit as far as on my 401 back on 2008. So I'm just fortunate enough that I wasn't retiring at that point.
Right.
So yeah, so right now it is my crusade out there to really inform families, especially young adults who's just entering in the workforce, to look at different options. Just be open-minded, see what's available out there, listen, and don't just be so closed and just say, whatever, my 401, my company's taking care of me. Because no, you can't depend on your work, because unless you know exactly what's really going on. But in most cases, a lot of people don't. Like what you mentioned, once you're hired, you just get this little packet and it says, okay, fill in the blanks and send it in within a week. That's the only type of advice that basically they could give you, because they can't give you anything else.
Right, and I know with Financial Coach for You, this is one of our strengths and our strong points is sitting down with you and going over what you have and giving you alternatives to where you can redirect your money to I don't know about you, but I want some guarantees, okay? I don't want to play Russian roulette. Okay, if you guys can mute your mics, Michelle. I think you got some background noise coming in. Yeah. And so you don't want to basically, just go with whatever they give to you. At Financial Coach for You, we compare what you have, and we show you how to redirect those dollars that you have. Because I don't know about you, but I want some guarantees, okay? I don't want to gamble with my future. And playing the stock market game, it is a gamble, because you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. Wasn't it like 3 or 4 weeks ago the stock market went down 600 points? It takes time to recoup that loss. And people think, oh, but it's doing really good right now. But you guys took a loss, And if you don't understand the stock market and you try to get into that stock market without the knowledge, you are going to get burnt. And so if you are putting money aside for your college education for your children, retirement, or some future event like buying a house, don't you want to put your money where it's guaranteed? Well, I know what I put in is going to be there when I need it. So I guess that's where you can contact us, because we know everyone's situation is different, and we're not just going to prescribe medication over a webinar, but we want to make sure that, things that make you go, now that makes sense. Now, I need to go contact the coaches and find out what exactly they're talking about and take a step in the right direction. So, anyone else has anything to share before we wrap it up? No one else? Okay. So, like we mentioned before, I know it's hard. It's very, very hard to trust people, especially here we are online. You have never met me. You've never met any of the coaches on the panel. But I can assure you that the coaches that you see here today with Financial Coach for You, we are ready and available to meet you where you are at. And we're going to put together a game plan, a detailed game plan for you, no matter where you're located, no matter what your financial situation looks like. If you're serious about building a solid financial foundation, reach out. I dare you to reach out and take that first step. So we all utilize our God-given talents and abilities by teaching, educating, and in making sure that you are well informed. We don't sell because you already have the debts, you already have the credit issues, you already have the investment struggles. What we do here at Financial Coach for You, we educate you. We educate you about your finances, and so you know how to teach your children, your family members, and we break the cycle forever, one family at a time. So if you need to contact us, our website is www.financialcoach4u.net. If you need to contact any one of our panelists, it's really simple to remember our email addresses. Like mine is Ray, R-A-E, at financialcoach4u.net. We have Wakil, we have Ted, we have Latasha, we have Neelam, and Coach Michelle. Just use our first names at financialcoach4u.net to get in contact with us. Our telephone number is 619-357-6558. That's our office number. You can also reach us at, through the phone lines. We're always looking for licensed and unlicensed people who have the heart and the passion for truly helping God's people out there. If that's you, contact us and look at our website, click on the Mastermind Mastermind tab. If you like what you see, complete that requested information, and we'll get back with you. So with that said, I'm going to turn this panel over to Coach Wakil. He's going to close us out in prayer. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, everyone.
All right, thank you, Sister Ray. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again. We can all bow our heads. Dear Father God, we come to you as humble as we know how. We just thank you for this awesome training that we got tonight. May we put forth this knowledge throughout the week as we continue on to meet new clients and new people, that we may educate them and bring them into FC for you and get them a financial game plan in place, dear Father God. I ask that we not take any of this that we learned tonight lightly, or but to keep it wholeheartedly and really put forth the effort as coaches to really get out of our place, get uncomfortable, so that we can help other people get comfortable with understanding their finances, dear Father God. I ask that you help those who are continuing to travel tonight. Give them safe travel and mercies home their night, dear Father God. I ask that you camp your angels around all of us as we sleep tonight, dear Father God. Those of our family members who may be sick or ill, I ask that you camp your angels around them and put your hands on them, dear Father God. Restore their strength and continue to push us forward to your purpose for us, dear Father God. It's in your precious, wonderful name we praise you, we thank you, and we love you. Amen.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.